Today's novel is full of twists and turns. The female protagonist, Kate, is a werewolf girl born under a tragic fate. Her mother passed away due to her birth, making her the target of the pack's blame. Her father's resentment and her brother's bullying have made her life extremely difficult. But Kate is a fighter. She grows up with a strong heart and a wall of resilience around her. However, on the day of her 18th birthday, instead of the excitement of finding her soulmate, she is faced with a shocking announcement. She has to leave her pack and go to another werewolf tribe. There, she meets the werewolf king Lawrence. He is handsome and powerful, but also domineering and cold. To every owner's surprise, he publicly declares Kate as his mate. But Kate is not willing to accept this so easily. She doesn't believe in fate and is determined to resist. So, will Kate be able to break free from this forced bond? Or will she gradually fall for the charming yet arrogant king? Let's uncover the answers together in this video. Chapter 1. My name is Kate David, a werewolf and the daughter of the Alpha. Fate's cruel joke placed me in this position, a constant reminder of my mother's absence. The moment she died giving birth to me, I became a living embodiment of loss for my pack. My father, a harsh and unforgiving man, channeled his grief into resentment, casting a shadow over my very existence. My brother, cruel and sadistic, found perverse pleasure in my suffering. The pack followed suit, shunning me as if I were a curse incarnate. Only my grandmother, not bound by blood but by an inexplicable devotion, stood by my side, forced to live as an outcast. I rarely saw my father except when he summoned me for another round of berating or punishment. To him, I was nothing more than a rebellious nuisance, a stain on his legacy. My brother ensured my school years were a living nightmare, enlisting his followers to torment me relentlessly. Each day became a battle for survival, both physically and mentally, as I endured their ceaseless abuse. Yet, from this crucible of pain, I forged myself into something stronger. I built impenetrable walls around my heart, finding solace in solitude and independence. Now I live in a modest but comfortable house with my grandmother, our bond transcending mere family ties. She has been my pillar of strength, my beacon of hope in an otherwise bleak existence. I can't fathom a life without her unwavering support. Today marks my 8th birthday, a day that should herald the possibility of finding my mate, my supposed true love. But I feel no excitement, no flutter of anticipation. My bedroom, my sanctuary, calls to me more strongly than any notion of destiny or soulmates. I've grown detached from such romantic ideals, finding them trivial in the face of my daily struggles. The thought of a predestined partner doesn't stir any optimism within me. I've learned to find comfort in my own company, unbothered by the promise of a cosmic connection. The moon goddess has made my life difficult and different, putting more serious dangers to speculate on, like the hardship coming with the ability to shift at a young age of 13, but not like a normal werewolf who is meant to shift at 16. It's an experience I never want to remember. Being mystified and in so much trauma, distress a young child should never endure and go through. Ma took it upon herself to keep reminding me I am unique, which makes me outstanding. But if being outstanding makes you wanted and treated differently, I will rather be like everybody else, living a serene life with loving parents and siblings, making good memories, having an adventure. I had to keep it a secret, making everyone believe I can't shift yet, which leads to being bullied and seem to be weak and worthless. Kate, come down now or you will be late for your class. Give me a few minutes, I am trying to write a journal, he yelled back, shutting the journal before standing to my feet. I love school but scorn seeing those fake werewolves who think they know you or judge you based on their sympathetic mind, and some judge you based on rumors, passing lies about someone else. I don't like having friends, not after what I went through. Friends are prevaricators, and backstabbing snakes. After getting what they need, they leave you. Stripping my clothes off, I made my way towards the closest, searching through for something suitable before deciding on a black dress, pairing it with a black jacket. Then for footwear, I picked black boots. Placing my outfit on the bed, I walk into the bathroom, getting under the skate down my body, taking my stress away. I walk out, wrapping a towel around my body, looking in the mirror, studying my countenance, which appears gloomy, I put my long brown hair into a bun before slipping into my dunnies. After getting ready, I walked downstairs to meet Grandma. She is in her 50s but still has the look of a lady in her 20s, coming as a benefit of being a werewolf. She's still the most beautiful woman I have ever seen, with brown hair, lovely green eyes, and a beautiful soul. Summing the true definition of elegance. Dressed in a white and blue dotted apron around her waist and her hair in a low ponytail, pairing it up with black jeans and a blue button-up shirt. She moved gracefully around the kitchen, putting things in order. I just admire her as my role model in everything. Turning, feeling my presence finally. Took you long enough to get ready. Here, have breakfast before leaving for school, or you surely be late for class. She urges me to take a seat before pushing a glass of water and scrambled eggs in. Okay, Ma. Thank you. You are the best. I say, taking a seat before sipping from the glass of water. Finishing my food, I put the plate into the sink before kissing her on the cheek, then grabbing my bag, leaving for another day of misery to begin. I am off to school, I announce, walking towards the door. Okay, before I forget, we were asked to see your dad at 5 in the evening today, so don't arrive late. She says, walking towards me. I am guessing this is another form of retribution, but I ask regardless why. I inquire, looking at her confused. I don't know, maybe for your birthday. Happy birthday, she says, giving me a tight hug and a kiss on my forehead. By Grandma, I say, leaving the house. Like I said before, my day can never go well without having to face difficulty. I should get ready to see my beloved Alpha Chapter 2. The forenoon cool breeze blow, propelling goosebumps on my skin. The streets busy as ever, with cars rushing towards different directions. Teens and young pups chatting with their friends, making their way to school or waiting for the school bus. Like always, my bag hangs lazily on my shoulders, getting strange and curious looks, making me walk with my chin held up high, sending waves of dominance to anyone who dares to glance my way longer than required. I have a feeling whatever the Alpha needs us for won't be good, says my wolf Tiara. Very vigorous, supportive, and can be very stubborn at times. But I adore her all the same. I will be prepared for anything, because only the moon goddess knows what goes on in his mind. I say calmly, you are right. I just want to think about the revision today will bring for us. She says, grinning widely. Whatever. As if I have the patience for such things. I say, stopping myself from rolling my eyes at her. Finally reaching my destination, I make my way into the school building, walking lazily towards my locker to get the required books for my first class. My first class is history, which I love because learning the cultures and beliefs of both humans and werewolves can be engaging. No sarcasm involved. I pull my locker closed before turning the hallway towards my first class. Hey bitch, a voice calls behind me, stopping me in my track before turning towards the irritating voice. Speaking of the fiend known as the nauseating slut of Hunter, my brother. I feel aversion towards this girl, and that is nothing compared to what I truly feel. As usual, she is dressed to fit into the description of a slut. Pink crop top not covering much, fleshing her boobs for whoever cares to see, pairing it up with blue ripped jeans. Her brown hair falling freely on her shoulders with the tip curled and sprayed red. I compliment her for her choice in picking a new hairstyle, but I won't say it out loud. Now moving to the malicious smirk on her lip as she moves closer towards me, swirling her hips seductively, gaining wolf whistles from horny wolves. We need to teach her a lesson through a beaten or more, Kiara says with a playful smirk. We do no such thing, or do you want to end up sleeping in the dungeon this night? I say, busting into her unpleasant thought. Can you please speed up whatever you have to say, because I have places to be and things to do? I say with a fake smile. Nothing much, just to prompt you to step out of my way, because I don't want to end up smelling like your poverty-stinking house. She says, smirking, looking me over with her blue eyes. I think I forgot to mention that she also has a problem with coming up with riposte. I sign, bored, rolling my eyes at her before speaking. Why don't you ever listen to that tiny voice in your mind? Maybe then you will understand the difference between showing confidence and just being smart. I say, referring to all times our conversation ends with her leaving hurt. Anyway, happy birthday. I wish you more bad serendipity than you already have, she says before walking away to one of her conquests. Slut, I mumble under my breath before walking towards my class. Lunchtime. The time I dread the most. But I can always use this time to bury myself in reading instead of being surrounded by arrogant and curious wolves waiting for your next move, or better yet, your downfall. I walk into the library deciding it best to skip lunch with a good tale and some music, kicking a few books from the novel section before walking to a secreted corner. I plug in my earphone, getting lost in my book. Another boring day, and finally I can go home to my safe zone watching Netflix. I stopped by my locker to drop my books before going to the bus stop. Just 2 weeks more before I graduate and then leave this pack traveling across the world, but that can only happen if the alpha grants me the permission and Ma agrees. I didn't have to wait long before a bus stop. I got in, finding a seat at the back close to 2 girls looking not less than 17. I plug in my earphones, shutting the world out. It took 4 minutes before the bus pulled up by the house. I got out, walking towards the front door before pushing it open, being welcomed by silence. "Grandma, am home, where are you?" I call out, walking into the kitchen to get a glass of water. "Over here," she yells from her room. Grabbing a glass, filling it with water, I gulp it all down to cool my dry throat before hearing footsteps coming down the steps. "How is school? And were you able to find your mate?" she asks with a smile, walking towards me. "Are you sure you are not trying to get rid of me so you can live alone in this house? Because it sure sounds like it," I say, playfully glaring at her as she took a seat opposite me. I wash the empty glass before placing it back. "You know, I want the best for you because you need someone to cherish you. That is one of the reasons I want you to find your mate soon, before you grow gray hairs like me," she says dramatically with a frown. "I know, Ma, but it's just that I don't need a mate to be happy, and I also know you don't want my mate to be from this pack," I say, making my way towards my room. "Your love is just enough for me. And you don't have gray hairs." After the little talk we had, I spent my time in my room reading and watching Netflix before it was time to leave for the alpha's place. "Sweetheart, get ready. We are having dinner at your dad's house," she called from her room, gaining a groan from me. I don't know why she still refers to him as my dad. "Remind me of my nightmare," I mumble under my breath, walking into the bathroom to wash my face before changing into black jeans and a V-neck top, showing a little of my birthmark. I have a birthmark shaped of two lichens just below my collarbone, staring at each other with longing and love. Ma exact words. She believes it is a sign I am blessed and made for something great. Studying my reflection in the mirror, I decide to go for a black t-shirt instead. I walk into the living room, turning on the TV as I wait for Ma to get ready. "Oh, moon goddess, please don't give me a bad surprise I am not ready for." Chapter 3. Reaching there, I became suddenly apprehensive. It's so long since I saw the alpha. "Oh, moon goddess helps me." Sensing my anxiety, Grandma took my hand in hers. "It okay, I am here, you don't have to worry, okay dear," she says, holding my hands tightly. I reply with a nod, bottling my fears before walking into the house, receiving greetings from the Pax Omega and some pack members. A young Omega directed us to the kitchen where my father and my brother were seated eating. My father is a very selfish man, even to his beta, preferring the life of a loner. He hates interacting with anyone, even his beta. So his beta stays with his family at a house not very far from here. I could very well feel the tension in the air. My father's eyes lock with mine in a ferocious stare before glancing away. I have always been told by Ma I look so much like my mom, having her brown hair and beautiful amber eyes, making that the more reason Ad hates me is that I reminded him so much of Mom. But I know I look nothing like her because she was pure and caring, but I am the opposite of that, always taking darkness everywhere. Then my brother Hunter, who looks exactly like Dad in so many ways, has black hair, gray eyes, vicious temperament, and pride wide as the vast ocean. I ignore the stares while taking a seat between Hunter and Ma. "Good evening, Alpha." "Hunter," Grandma says with a slight bow of her head. "Going straight to the point, not to adorn your presence here," he says in his alpha's tone, ignoring Ma's greeting. "Today is your 18th birthday, marking the day of grief and loss to us all," he says, glancing my way, pushing daggers deeper into my heart with every word he says. What a way to wish someone a happy birthday. Refusing to give him the gratification by seeing me in pain, I harden my eyes, giving nothing away. "Alex, Grandma's name you, and Kate will be moving after Kate's graduation, which is in 2 weeks from now, into the King of Lycan's pack," he says nonchalantly. "You can't be serious," I say abruptly before I could stop myself, gaining a glare from Ma. "You should be happy he is sending you to a strong pack and not to a place you could get killed." Hunter inject, throwing daggers my way. "Oh, shut up, you and I both know who needs the protection the most," I say with a glare of my own. I would watch my mouth if I were you because you don't want to suffer as a result of your insolence, he threatened. Enough you to alpha commands, putting an end to the argument. I glare at Hunter before glancing at the alpha. You leave after your graduation, and that is final, he says before leaving the room. Hunter smirks before leaving. I felt dumbfounded, agitated, appalled, and many other emotions. My emotions were everywhere. I can't understand why he would decide to send me away unexpectedly. I never liked being here, and I was hoping he would permit me to leave this pack, but not this way, especially not forcing me to join another pack of the most wicked and arrogant king. I understand he doesn't care about me, but that doesn't give him the right to send Ma from this pack. A pack she sacrificed a lot for. She spent her whole life here. He can't just send her out of her home just like that. I can't let him do that. I am leaving, but Ma will stay. He can't use the hatred he has for me against Ma. I got up immediately, walking towards the Alpha's office, where I will speak my heart out and he will listen to everything I have to say. But before I could make it to his office, Ma pulled me by the wrist, stopping me from taking any step forward. Kate, listen to me, she requested softly. I gave deaf ears to her word. All I could feel was anger as my body shook, eyes flicking between red and amber. Ma, let go, this man has to hear what I have to say, I say, pulling my hands, but her grip was so tight. Take a deep breath and relax, she orders, pulling me into a tight hug. I let her pull me outside the pack house, back to the house while people watch us as we walk by. She unlocks the door, pulling me into the house with her before pulling me into her embrace, letting her sweet berry scent fill my nostrils, calming my heartbeat. I enjoyed her presence and care for a few minutes before pulling away. I am so sorry, because of me you are being told to leave this pack, I plead, pain and regret shining in my eyes. Her lips form a smile, leaving me in a state of confusion. It doesn't matter where I am being told to go, all that matters is my baby is right next to me. I hug her with a smile. She always understands, thank you so much. I love you with everything, I say, pulling away from the hug. I smile one last time before walking towards my room after wishing her good night. I take a relaxing shower, then change into my nightwear. I climbed into my soft, welcoming bed, letting the stress of today weigh me down. Tiara, what do you think about this? I ask, staring at the roof. I don't know what to say. Maybe this all for the best, she says, sounding unsure. I felt waves of sadness and hope at the same time coming from her before she shut me out, leaving me demoralized with everything happening. Moon goddess, don't you think I deserve a break just yet? I mumbled weakly. I had hoped to wake up from this roller coaster and see that everything is a dream. A very terrible dream. Then I would be able to see my mom, have a beautiful family who loves me, but I know that this is just the dream and wish of a naive little girl. But now that stupid little girl knows best. She knows where she stands and ends. She knows what her share in this world is, which is filled with misery and heartache. She has to fight every day. Fight to wake. Fight to live. And now all she knows is how to fight. I stayed awake for a few hours before I fell asleep once again to a dreamless night, which let me forget reality for some time and go into nightmares, welcoming the demons at night. Chapter 4. These last 2 weeks have been the shortest weeks of my life, with Hunter getting on my nerves, always nagging me about how he can't wait for me to leave, and the Alpha made the best decision ever. What a vermin. I was hoping for the Alpha to change his decision, but that didn't happen, since today is the day I am to leave this pack and nothing has changed in his plans to get rid of me. I should be delighted because I am finally leaving, but how can I be pleased when a father's birthday gift to his only daughter is by sending her to the most feared pack? The rumors have it that the king of lichens is rigorous, taking over packs for fun, killing, and obliterating life. He derives so much satisfaction in taking away equilibrium. But I don't believe in rumors, since I am also a subtopic, but then again the pack is home to all lichen. Lichens are known to be faster and stronger than an alpha. They are known to be deadly creatures. I am not scared, just anxious, because having this feeling that something is going to happen that might cause a drastic change in my life. Ma feels different. She is very happy to leave. She keeps saying something great is waiting for us over there. Weird, right? But anyway, she apprised that we are just like visitors, not pack members, and we can also decide to join the pack. But what I need to do is to prepare myself for whatever is to come our way. Hopping on the moon goddess to take it easy on me this time. I jolt, hearing the sudden sound of the alarm ringing. Seriously, I say, glaring at the clock on my nightstand before closing my journal, then placing it into my bag. Now it's time to start getting ready for the long journey ahead. I can be so dramatic at times. Tell me about it. Okay, now stop being lazy and get ready before Grandma comes in here, Tiara says, grinning widely. Oh, keep shut, I growl, walking into the bathroom to do my morning routine. Since I packed all of my things yesterday, I just have to get ready for the journey. I pack my hair into a neat bun before changing into black ripped jeans, red cropped hoodie before slipping into my black sneakers. Satisfied with my look, I decided to see what Ma is up to. Good morning, I salute, walking into the kitchen. Good morning, dear. How was your night? She asks, placing 2 plates of bacon and sausage on the counter while I take my seat on the kitchen stool. Like always, I shrug, looking at her blankly. Okay, take your breakfast. Our flight is by 9 a.m. this morning, she declares, taking 1 plate before leaving the kitchen. Yes, Ma, I call after she takes my food from the kitchen counter with a glass of apple juice. After eating, I decided to watch a movie. Checking the time, I have 1 hour more to get ready. Pulling the last of my and Ma's luggage into the back seat of the car while taking a bite from my apple, I look around for anything important we seem to be forgetting. Ma, I am done, let's go, I call for her, walking towards the door. Okay, get the key from the key holder, I will be down in a minute, she yells. I do as she says, taking the house key from the holder. Since the car we are taking to the airport is for the Alpha, we were ordered to leave the house and car keys with the driver. The drive there was silent but not uncomfortable, just peaceful. Finally leaving this pack. I can't say if it is for a place better or worse than here. 32 minutes later, we arrived at the airport. After waiting for 1 hour, we were called to board the plane. We board a plane going to Mexico, the land of bliss. I have never been on a plane before, making me uneasy. I had to plead with Grandma to let me sit by the window. She could not resist my plea and she let me. I look at the window, taking deep breaths to calm my nerves, and with the support of Ma by my side, I will survive this. I wake up to the feeling of someone shaking my shoulders. Stop sleeping, Kate. We are getting down in 5 minutes. Can't this person leave me alone, for crying out loud? This is so pesky. Kate, Darby, David, get up now, oh so help me. Grandma threatened. Grandma. She going to be so pissed. I immediately got up to face a very pissed woman. Sorry, Grandma, I am just a depleted. I whine, giving her my puppy dog eyes, which always thaw her heart. Whatever. Just fasten your seatbelt because we are landing in 4 minutes from now. Grandma explains, rolling her eyes with a slight smile creeping up her lips. Okay, Ma. I say while doing what she asked of me. I finally. My butts were almost becoming numb from sitting down for hours. I thank the moon goddess as we step out of the plane 5 minutes later. After taking our luggage, Ma directed us towards a fancy-looking car waiting with a driver and a young man standing by the car with eyes focused on us. He must be the Royal Gamma or the Royal Beta through the power radiating off him. He looks intimidating, so I am going to let him have that, but I am not intimidated, I just feel a bit threatened. Hi, I'm the Royal Gamma, Jack Alvin. You must be Kate, David, and Alex Guerra, he says, bringing his hand for a handshake. I shake his hand, feeling the need to hassle him. Yes, Kate, David, and my grandma Alex Guerra, nice to meet you. Jack. Nice car, by the way, I say, smiling innocently, locking eyes with him in mockery. Thanks, but it is Royal Gamma Jack to you too, he says, clearing his throat, disturbed. I like it. A self-absorbed asshole. I just gave him a mocking smile once again before replying, okay, Royal Gamma Jack, I mock, stopping myself from pulling his cheek. We got into the car, seating in silence until my grandma mind linked me. Kate, stop making him uncomfortable. I am doing nothing here, I say innocently. I can feel the tension and dominance you are giving out, she grunts. Okay, but I am not to be blamed because he finds my presence intimidating, I say nonchalantly, releasing the tension before hearing Jack's sigh with relief. Behave yourself when we get there, don't keep doing this when you meet someone of higher rank, she says before looking at Jack with apologetic eyes. Rolling my eyes at her, okay, Grandma, I will try, but don't expect me to be quiet and take nonsense from anyone I say, closing the mind link. She just shoots a glare in my way. After that incident, Royal Gamma Jack, as he calls himself, didn't even converse with us, he just kept staring at me curiously. I was so tempted to teach him a few lessons on respect, but just kept on bail because of Ma. I don't get what his problem is just because he is a royal, making him speculate he is better than others. But I don't blame him for thinking so. He is graceful. Every girl's pursuit. Black straight short hair paired with his captivating brown eyes. Currently dressed in a black suit and pants, meaning business except for his rude character standing off. We arrived at a clear field, coming to stop in front of a closed gate, which must be the border. Immediately the gate was pulled open, letting us drive, and my mouth falls open at the sight in front of me. A big mansion stood out among houses around it which were larger than our pack house. The place was welcoming, surrounded by forest. People going on with the daily activities. Pups screaming and playing. It was a sight to behold. It looks more lively than my old pack. This is nothing like I imagined. When we step out of the car, we were greeted by two lichens. A woman and a man looking to be in their 20s. Welcome, I am Thomas Clifford and my maid Elisa Clifford. We are the parents of the king, the man with brown hair and honey brown eyes and very tall compared to my alpha. Parents to the king, but they don't look older than 20. Nice to meet you. You must know who we are already. Ma greets, smiling politely. Yes, we know, but I didn't know the alpha had a daughter or his mother is alive until a few weeks ago. The gorgeous woman named Elisa with black straight hair and hazel eyes gave a welcoming feeling. He doesn't like Kate being called his daughter, and Kate just calls me her grandma. We are not related by blood. Ma says before glancing my way, while I just stare blankly. At least he had the decency to introduce me as his daughter to the king. Beautiful. You have to meet my daughter, you both will get along just fine, says Elisa before pulling me into a hug. I stood confused with my hands by my side, finding this situation uncomfortable and odd. This is so awkward, Tara whisper nonchalantly. Tell me about it. She finally pulls away, releasing me from her embrace with a smile still gracing her lip. Come and let me show you to your rooms. Thomas, go tell the children our visitors are here, Elisa says, letting us in. If the outside was magnificent, then I don't even know what to say about the inside. The place looks so magnificent, screaming royalty. Everything looks luxurious. She opened a door asking us to get in. The room was bigger compared to our home back at the pack, with a queen-size bed and a plasma hanging on the wall. The bright curtain opened, letting the ray of sunlight and making the room more elegant. I walked towards one of the doors, still dazed by the beauty of this room. I gasped in shock, seeing the sight before me. This bathroom is bigger down my home back at the pack. This is my first time seeing a bathtub, and it is so big. I take in a deep breath, enjoying the honey and banana scent of the bathroom with a smile on my lips. I use my finger in feeling the texture of the neatly folded towel below the sink, feeling the softness on my skin. After inspecting the bathroom, I walk out of the room to find Elisa mock and versing like long-lost friends. This is your room, Kate, I hope you like. Elisa asks, grinning widely. She is just so energetic and happy. Yeah, I like it, I shrug, running my hand on the bed, which is very soft and looks comfortable. Okay, I leave you to it now. Come down when you freshened up for dinner. Okay, dear, she says, giving me a motherly smile, which is so creepy to me. Don't get me wrong, her smile is so energetic, but I am not used to seeing strangers or anyone expects ma smile at me in that manner. Yeah, I will do just that, your highness, I say without emotion. On get me wrong. She just gave me a motherly vibe, and I am not one to receive this feeling or accept feelings like this. Elisa, she says, making me confused. Just call me Elisa, okay? Elisa, let go Alex to your new room, Elisa says while leaving my room. Quick improvement. I explore the room, which includes bouncing on the soft bed and sniffing the pillows and bed sheets, enjoying the same honey and a scent. I decide in taking a long bath in the tub, enjoying the feeling of the water and additive scent of the bathing soap. I wrap a towel around my body, deciding to explore the second closed door, which turns out to be a walk-in closet that contains clothes, shoes, bags, and even dunnies that are not mine but are my size. I run my fingers through the clothes, which are meant for different occasions. The shoes include heels, which I have never dreamt of wearing. Ever. I feel like a princess already with all these beautiful things around me. I guess my alpha made the right choice of bringing me here. I find my bag containing the belongings I brought from my pack placed by the corner. Someone brought it in when I was in the bathroom. I pull my bag, opened it up, deciding on wearing something I own instead. I got ready wearing black jeans and a loose shirt before trying to cool my nerves down. I hear a knock on the door as I close the door of the walk-in closet door before Grandma walks in, already freshened up, dressed in blue jeans and a black t-shirt. "Ready?" she asks. I replied with a yes before leaving the room towards the dining room with her leading the way. "Trust me, you are going to love here," she utters with a smile. "This place is not bad from what I have seen." I return the smile. We were greeted by different pack members, some giving us curious looks before getting direction from a pack member towards the dining room. The smell of something sweet like forest and pine fruit fills my nose and the air. My wolf is going crazy with happiness. Delicious, it must be the food. The smell grows stronger as we walk going towards the dining room. I can't wait to have a taste. Immediately the door was open, the smell comes in full force, almost knocking me off my feet. Closing my eyes, I sniff the air, enjoying the sweet scent of the forest mixed with pine fruit, a bit of raspberry. I may look crazy right now, but I don't care. I open my eyes, searching for the source before locking my eyes with the most beautiful eyes I ever have seen, but the word that comes out of his beautiful soft lips. "Don't ask how I know it's off," stops my heartbeat. But it can't be. I didn't ask for a mate. I am so doomed. Chapter 5. You must be kidding me. I raise my eyes to the ceiling, saying, "How can you pair me with the king of lichens? Why me? The Lichen King. King of kings, moon goddess. I expect worst, but this is beyond me." I glanced back at him, noticing he was a bit affected by all this because he was already addressing someone, looking unfazed. It's not like I was anticipating anything different. Tiara. It seems our mate is a complacent asshole. I face palm. "Stop being so pessimistic. Wait for a few minutes, he will enunciate later," Tiara says in an unimpressive manner. I meet his eyes once again, surveying his hazel eyes, then moving my gaze to his black hair, looking disheveled like he kept running his hands through. His face sculptured to perfection, sharp jawline, and thick eyelashes. He is so beautiful. Striking, every girl will fall at his feet and boys envy a Greek god like him. How can such beauty be bestowed upon someone? Noticing the awkward silence enveloping us, I coughed awkwardly to get the attention away from me. I deliberated either running to the safety of my room or confronting what awaits me here, before going with the latter, taking reluctant steps towards the curious eyes watching me. I took a seat between Grandma and a girl having the same hair color as Elisa, grinning happily, showing a set of white teeth. She must be Elisa. Daughter. The dinner consists of Elisa, Thomas, Royal Gam, and Jack, the beautiful girl by my side, and 2 other guys. It took me time looking around the dining room, which was beautifully designed to meet royal standards. To say these people are floating in extravagance is an understatement, because in all my years of exiting, I have never seen such luxury devoted to a place. Maybe that comes with being in the royal family. The dining room was sparkling, just like other parts of the mansion. I am privileged to be seated here, about to enjoy a meal. I was snapped from my thought by Thomas. "From what my son just made us all realize that you are his mate, correct?" He questions, taking a sip from his glass of wine while staring at me intensely. Is he trying to be daunting because I am trying my best not to burst out in laughter? I bit my tongue, putting up a stiff look. I am not his mate, because from what I know, I don't have a mate. This is what we call tinkering. If only looks could kill, I will be 6 feet below the ground from the intense glare the king is currently sending my way. "And why do you feel you don't have a mate?" he asked with a raised eyebrow. I was anathematized to never have a mate, so I don't know what he meant by "I am his mate." I utter nonchalantly. The expression on every honest countenance is exquisite. Maybe I should consider being a humorist, because this is so mirthful. "She is only quipping, your majesties," Ma says, apologizing before glancing at me warningly. Enough of these jokes, the king growled, gaining every honest attention. I shudder from the melodious sound made. "She is my mate, and this should be kept as a secret," he announces, daring me to concede with his intense gaze on me. I bit my tongue to stop myself from making a smart-ass reply. After that, we all ate our meal, and tension so thick could be cut through by a knife, which was suffocating until broken by the beautiful girl. "I am Lily and Clifford Lawrence's sister," she says politely with a wide grin. "Lawrence?" I inquire, taking a sip from my glass of water, not interested in this dialogue. She chuckled harmoniously. "That is the king's name." "Okay," I answer shortly in an unconcerned manner. After this I need to rest, because today has been one hell of an erratic day. "We should go shopping, me. You and a girlfriend of mine." We can call it a girl's timeout. Lily says, grinning happily. It will hurt me to break her plans, but I got to set things straight. I will love to, but I don't do sure things. I think different, like I said before. I don't like having friends. Okay, no problem, but what do you do for fun? She sounds like my grandma right now. I plan out ways to commit carnage without being caught, I say, sounding serious, earning a slap on my head from Ma. You are eccentric and I like you already, she says, laughing. Wait until you see the real me, but for real, what interests you? I read for fun, I say smugly. I love reading a lot. So what do you love reading about? She asks. Not to be rude or anything, but can you stop interrogating me already? I say, getting disturbed by her questions. Sorry. I am just always curious, she says, placing her hands on her lap, before averting her gaze towards Ma. You must be Alex. Kate, grandma. It's a pleasure meeting you, she says with a smile. Me too, dear. She points to a guy sitting beside her. This is Anderson Esmond, and my mate in Royal Beta. The guy looks handsome with brown curly hair and chocolate brown eyes. He smiles politely at us before going back to his meal. And this my younger brother Levi. She points to the guy sitting beside Elisa and opposite Ma. Looking at Lillian, she looks more like her mother with black short hair and gray eyes, while Levi looks more of Thomas with honey brown eyes and brown hair. You welcome, maybe by tomorrow I and my sister can show you around. What do you say? Levi asked. Yes, we will love that. Right, Kate? Grandma says, smiling mischievously at me. I am in for a long oration. Yes, we are up for it, I say, pushing my chair back before getting up to leave the room. Thanks for the meal. I am retiring to my room now, I announce before leaving the room, leaving everyone in shock. I sigh audibly while trudging towards my room. This day is getting crazier by the minute. I can't wait for tomorrow's note. Sarcastic term there. Chapter 6, Lauren's POV. I run my hands through my hair with a loud sigh. I am currently in my office going through pack details and prerequisites, having in mind that later I will be having a meeting by 10 am with the packs having a controversy among themselves, because unfortunately, some alphas always let their pride rule over better judgment. I receive a knock on the door, interrupting my trail of thought. Come in, I say before my beta walks in with confident and mischievous smile on his face. He drops a brown envelope with a file on my desk before taking a seat. Anything new on the attack last night? Ask, looking down at the files on the desk. Those rouges and their turmoil, always trying to cross into pack borders. Some pack are having rouge issues recently, and it is getting out of control because they seem to be increasing in numbers, and no one knows how this is happening. With all the confrontations they are causing, I will end their miserable life in no time. Yes, it already settled in. The alpha's precious daughter and her grandma will be escorted by Jack immediately they get off the plane. Yeah, I almost forget about their arrival. But I don't get why the alpha would send his daughter over here with an excuse of something about protection, but I can't complain because after all, I have to protect supernatural beings in need. Is everything ready for the meeting? I ask, going through the brown envelope he placed on my table. Yes, everything has been put in order, he replies with a nod. Okay. You may now take your leave, I say, dismissing him, but being Anderson, he didn't make any move of evacuating. I glance at him with raised eyebrows. Can time with my best friend? He questions with a playful smile. Stop acting silly, Anderson, you can now leave. My sister will need you more than I do, I say before returning to my work. Don't remind me. Okay, man. If you need anything, mind link me, he says before leaving me in silence. I just ended the meeting, which took 4 hours of listening to grown male wolves behaving like pups let go for a run. My like, and Travis says, okay, let me round all this up. After signing what was needed to be signed, I left for a run. My lichen is white, which is very rare. He is arrogant, proud and blood-tasty, loving the smell of fresh leaves, and the way the soil stumbles under my paws while I move at the speed of light, dodging through trees easily. Running helps me relieve stress in my aching muscles. While running, I got a mind link telling me to come home to receive the alpha's daughter and her grandma to the pack. When I got home, I went straight to take a relaxing shower before heading to the dining room where everyone was seated except for our expected guest. Lawrence comes that our guest will be down soon, Mom declares, noticing the confused look on my face. Son, have you heard from Elder Matthias? He is more of a father to me. He has been my guide and one of the reasons I am who I am today. When I need fatherly advice, he has always been there, but right now he took a trip to a neighboring pack working on packs distribution and establishment for me. Yes, it going well. He will be back tomorrow. I say deeply proud of his achievements over there. I made little talks with Dad, Anderson, and Levi before my sense was blocked with the most luscious scent ever. I sniffed the air savoring dolence of sweet strawberry rose and a mix of honey, but it was not coming from the food but from behind the closed doors. This is a sign I am about to see my mate step through that door. Immediately the door was open. I saw the most beautiful girl having brown hair, radiant amber eyes, and full pink lips. She's an angel, mate my like, and declares before I could stop myself. The urge to run towards her, hug and kiss her soft pink lips floods through my being, but I could not because something was pulling me back from doing any of those things to her. Man, finally you have found your mate. And by the way, she is beautiful. Anderson whispers beside me with a smile evident on his lips. I shoot him a glare before hearing her cough, awkwardly making her way towards the dinner table, moving seductively slow. She takes a seat next to Lillian, but Dad had to open his mouth. From what my son just made us all realize is that you are his mate, correct? He raises a question, taking a sip from his glass of wine while staring at her intensely. She tries hiding a smirk as she stares back, looking bored with everything around her. I am not his mate because from what I know I don't have a mate, she says smugly, sounding disrespectful. This girl must be feisty with all the attitude and the look of boredom plastered on her face. I gave her an intense glare. She is a wild one who needs to be put in place, to be tamed. And why do you feel you don't have a mate? Dad asks with raised eyebrow, not impressed by her attitude but still looks amused. Everyone watches her silently with undivided attention, wanting for her sassy reply. I am also curious. I was anathematized to never have a mate, so I don't know what he meant by I am his mate, she says with an attitude. Everyone was surprised. I actually would believe her if not for the way she held herself from laughing out loud. She is only quipping, Your Majesty's a young-looking lady, which must be her grandma, apologized before glancing at her warningly. I receive a mind link from Jack. You just got rejected by your mate. I can tell she will be trouble in paradise, I growl at Anne. She is playing a game she shouldn't bother starting. She needs to be tamed. I will so derive pleasure taming her. I felt disgruntled and slighted by her attitude. Not even my presence here is her king. Enough of these jokes, I growl, gaining every honest attention. She is my mate and this should be kept as a secret. Nobody should know about this, I order while daring her to say otherwise with my intense gaze on her. I stare at her for a few minutes before going back to my meal. The silence went as nobody dared to break it before Lillian, being Lillian, speaks. I am Lillian Clifford. Lawrence's sister, she says politely with a wide grin. Lawrence, she asks before taking a sip from her glass of water. She chuckled harmoniously. That is the king's name. I zoned out of the conversation, focusing on my meal and thoughts, but throughout the dinner, she talked coldly to everyone who dared to make conversation with her. She left after a few minutes, leaving her food untouched, having only water. I growl loudly, slamming my hand against the table, feeling once again insulted by her. How dare she walk out with me still seated on my chair? I make a move to go after her, but Anderson's hand on my wrist stops me from running after her. Mom glared at me, meaning business, or better yet, time for berating. What was that for? I swear if you dare choose that slut over your mate, you are in for destruction, she says angrily. I release a growl, feeling disrespected by her. She might be indignant, but that doesn't give her the right to talk that way. Son, she's right, you can't do that. You waited for 3 years for this and she is here, how can you let it go? Dad says with a serious look. I know she might be difficult from what I have seen, but she just what you need right now. Excuse me, can I take my leave? Alex says, pushing her chair back, waiting for my reply. I reply with a nod, letting me leave. Mom, I never said I was going to reject her. I only said it should be kept as a secret, and I don't see anything wrong with what I said. I say, trying to keep my voice calm as possible. You all saw how she just disrespected me. Why can't they let me take care of this my way? They are overreacting. Whatever you say, but don't think of rejecting her, and please take it slow with her, she says before leaving, pulling my father out with her. I run my hands through my hair in frustration. I trust you have this under control, Anderson says, patting my back, but if you need any advice, I will be here. I rather ask Jack for advice. I cough. Really? Jack asks with a smile. No, I was only playing with you. Okay, and I and Lillian have work that needs to be completed. Anderson says, holding out his hands for her. Better be something you can tell me about. I say with a smirk. Yes, it will be. He says, looking at Lillian, who is as red as a tomato. I left after them, making my way to the gym to burn some stress out. What do you have to say to all this, Travis? I asked thoughtfully. If I tell you to go see our mate, will you? He inquired. No, forget I even asked. I say, blocking the mind link while throwing angry blows at the boxing bag. A few hours later, I was through with training. After taking a relaxing bath, I lay in bed cogitating over today's event. I could not help but think of her when I looked into her eyes. It was sparkling with unshaded tears, and I could sense lace covering her true nature. I just can't believe my mate is the alpha's daughter. I fell asleep to just one thing on my mind, those amber eyes. Chapter 7 KPOV. Opening the door to my new room, the queen size bed calls for me before going into the walk-in closet to change into my pajamas, then going back into the room. I sigh, exhausted, welcoming the softness of bed under my body. I roll a couple of times, finding the perfect position to fall asleep. Today has been an aggravating day for me with all the unexpected events. I guess the moon goddess never gets tired of surprising me. I am so confused and still in shock. What I am to do with this new development. This is a very big step for me to take. I am not even prepared to accept a mate into my messed up life. How am I to handle this bond growing between us? Howdy, Ara, you know we don't meet him, right? I ask more to myself than to her. We do, Kate, you have to accept that. She says softly. No, we don't. No, we don't. Remember, we only need Grandma, not anybody else. After all, we both agreed to never crave or want the pain and heartache that comes with this think mate, but already you are falling without getting any acknowledgement from a mate. I can't just run into his hands like a damsel in distress. I don't think so. I continue getting irritated. She feels because he is her other half that gives him the right to treat us like trash. He even gave orders to everyone to keep us being made a secret. I mean, who does that? I can't fall for this mate pull. I refuse to be a fool and another sad victim to this bond. I can tend up like my dad. I know, but try seeing it from my point of view. He is our other half. Soulmate, and he will never hurt us. Just give him time, and he will love us the way we deserve. She says calmly. Unbelievable. Anger builds up inside me from her careless use of words. Enough of this. I can't submit or wait until he decides to see us as his mate. I am not letting this bond grow, and that is final, I proclaim, groaning angrily. I can't have this conversation with you when you being hot-headed, she utters harshly. And also not when you are being a bitchandle of a sick puppy. I retort, cutting the mind link. I balled my fist, screaming, letting my frustration out before being interrupted by a knock on the door. I sigh, hoping nobody heard me screaming. Come in, the door is open. I called out to the person behind the door, or rather angry lady behind the door. Moss steps into the room looking angry. If this was a cartoon show, I am sure smokes would be coming out of her ears. And knows, young lady, we need to have a serious conversation about your cold and nonchalant attitude, she says with a look of don't you dare argue with me. But I being me, I did. If it's about my so-called mate, then we are not having any conversation. I say, stubbornly, facing my back towards her. Kate, you are getting on my last nerve, she says before sensing her move closer to the bed. And no, it's not about your mate. You can handle that yourself. Thank you. She could trust me with that. So what about? I inquire, resting my back on the headboard while placing my hand on my lap. I came here to tell you I will be here for you if you ever need me, she says, taking a deep breath. I fiddle with the covers, trying to keep my eyes from her worry-filled eyes. Your cold attitude and lack of respect towards the royals bothers me. It makes me feel like I did wrong with the way I raised you, she says, holding my hands in hers. Her words pierce my heart. Her feeling disappointed is a feeling I never want to experience from her. I move towards her, taking a seat beside her ma. I am so sorry, but this is just the way I am. I say, meeting her gaze. I feel the need to be dominant and not give them the right as royals to step on me. I took her hands in mine. I know this is going to be a hard thing to go through, but you are stronger than this. I have watched you since birth. You can make discussion for yourself, but please tread cautiously. She runs her hand across my chin with a smile. Look, my baby girl is no more a child but a grown woman, she says with tears in her eyes. You know, when I look at you now, knowing that you found your mate, I discovered it's about time to let you go, she says with tears running down her cheeks. I flinch, seeing the tears roll down her cheeks. I pull her into my tight embrace. Grandma, I am ever leaving you. How can you think of such rubbish? I say as she rubs her hands up and down my back. You are my everything. I love you, Ma. After the way he looked at me with disgust and treated me badly, I will never let it get to me, more or less my heart, I say, pulling away, staring into her eyes. I love you so much, Ma. I say, wiping the tears under her eyes. I love you too, sweetheart, she says with a wide grin. Okay, enough. Go to bed. We are having training tomorrow morning by 600. She announces, grinning before standing to leave. So fast, we just arrived today. Give me one more day to get to know this place, please, I plead, giving my puppy dog eyes, hoping it will give her a change of heart. Keyword hoping. No, that won't work on me this time. Good night, dear, she says while locking the door after her. Good night, I mumbled at the closed door. I close my eyes to say a little prayer. Please, moon god, let tomorrow be a great day, even if I should know best. And please don't ever surprise me this way again, I mumble, pulling the covers over myself. After rolling in bed for a few minutes, I gave up, finding it hard to sleep, so I tried calling 40RDR. I am sorry about the way I spoke rudely to you. It was very inappropriate. No reply. I have been trying to get Tiara to speak, but nothing is changing her mind. Always acting cranky. Tiara, nothing. She must be very angry at me to ignore my calls. I finally fell asleep in a land called Dreamland. Chapter 8. Unknown POV. Years ago, before Kate's birth. Today has been filled with bad news, mostly for my best friend Elisa. With all this discovery concerning her unborn pup and the complications of keeping the pup, I am currently on my way to see Elisa in the pack house. She is mated to the alpha, making her the Luna of this pack. And she is also my best friend because we practically grew up together. I feel for my friend. I see and notice the stress weighing down on her, but I can't do anything but watch her go through this phase of her life. Reaching the pack house, I receive greetings from a few pack members while making my way towards Aliza's room. I knock on the door before being asked to come and walking into the room to find her seated on her bed, folding clothes slowly. She grins widely, noticing my presence in the room. Elisa has always been a beauty to behold, having brown wavy long hair packed into a bun, her amber captivating eyes looking weary and restless with bags building under her eyes. When we were little, I always wished I had her eyes because of how welcoming they looked, but not everything we wish comes true. How are you feeling? I inquire, walking towards the bed before taking a seat beside her. The pain is getting worse, but I am good, she explains sadly, placing her hand on her big round belly. It will get better, okay? I encourage, trying to light up her mood with a smile. So, what did the doctor say after running the test on you? I question, helping her fold the clothes. A sad smile appears on her features as her eyes glimmer with tears, making me feel unease. She gave me drugs to reduce the pain, but this pup is making me and my wolf weak. If this pup is not removed on time, I will die, she sobs, stuffing her face into her palm. I push the clothes away, embracing her, letting her sob on my shoulder while sending a comforting vibe through our bond. Questions still run through my mind from her words. What do you mean by dying, Elisa? I ask, pulling from the hug with a confused look on my face. She wipes the tears under her eyes before giving answers to my questions. Yes, I am dying if we don't let this pup go, but... She was interrupted by a knock on the door. Her son pushed the door open, running toward us on the bed. She picks him up, placing him on her lap. What is going on, Hunter? She questions, curiously, placing a kiss on his eyebrow. He giggles. Mum, Dad said I should tell you to meet him in his office, Hunter informs before diverting his eyes towards me with a smile on his lips. Hi, Auntie. How are you, dear? I asked, taking him from his mum, placing him on my lap. Fine. Auntie, you said you were going to get me a new toy, he says, wrapping his little hands around my neck with a smile. I promised to bring it with me tomorrow, I declare with a smile before placing him on his feet. Okay, Auntie, bye, he yells, running out of the room. Hunter, stop running or you will break your little legs, Elisa yelled. Sorry, Mum, he replies. She shakes her head with a smile on her lip. I want you to come with me. I will need you close to me, she says. I help her stand on her feet before we leave the room, walking towards the Alpha's office. How is the Alpha talking all this? I ask as we make our way towards aficionados' office. I think he's angry with me, but I understand he just worried, she frowns. I nod in reply, I not knowing what to say because James can be difficult at times. He does well to hide his emotions from everyone, but he treats my best friend with love. Elisa pulls the door open with me behind her. Alpha James looked up from the book he was reading, sensing our presence in the room. He looked exhausted with heavy bags under his eyes and his hair looking disheveled. Take a seat, he says, flicking his eyes between Elisa and me. We took a seat opposite him with Elisa focusing her gaze on her hands placed on her laps, looking anxious. Elisa, you heard what the doctor said, so when are we going to remove that child, he says, sounding a bit too harsh. I can't kill this pup, she announces, sounding weak with her gaze still downcast. You can't do that. I'd rather lose this baby than lose you, he says angrily, placing his fist on the table. You have to understand, I feel this child means something great for us. I can't do this to my unborn pup, she says, sounding agitated. Her shoulders shake from anger or fear, I can't tell which. I will give you a few minutes to think about this and agree, or I will forcefully make you agree, he warns. Clam down, both of you, I say, getting their attention on me. We have to think through this logically and not by getting angry or by yelling. Jane sighs, standing up. Please talk to her. I will be back after you are done explaining it to her, he asserts, sending an intense look to the both of us before leaving. Immediately he left, I turned to my best friend. Her head bowed while her shoulders shake slightly, taking her shakily hands in mine. You have to try understanding him from his perspective. He is scared of losing you, I say, pausing momentarily. I am scared of losing you. We are all scared of losing, I say, wiping the little tear that escapes my eyes. You are the Luna of this pack. What is a park without a Luna? And what about your 3-year-old son who needs a mother? You can always have another pup after this one, so please do this for me. For Hunter. For your mate. And this pack, I say, staring into her eyes pleadingly. She stuffs her face into her palms and quakes with sobs. But I can't bring myself to kill this pup, I soothe her as she cries. I get it, you are a mother. But think of everyone else. Think about the pack. The Alpha needs you in heading over this pack. She meets her gaze with mine for a few seconds, contemplating my words. Okay, I will do this. Please mind linking James to come, and she says, wiping the tears from her cheeks. She ready come, and James, I mind link him. Okay, he says, coming into the room. Thank you very much. Let's go meet the pack doctor then, he says, pulling Elisa up before placing a kiss on her forehead. I promise everything is going to be alright, love. Okay, let go, and you are coming with me, she says, holding my hand. I hope all this goes well because I want the smile back on my friend's face. I want to see that cheerful look on her face once again. Present, I wake up covered with sweat. Why is all this coming back to me now? This happened 18 years ago. Is this a message to go back or a reminder of the sin I committed? What does this mean?